I had a significant change that my husband died in November 1st of 2022. My lifestyle I knew had to change. And so I went to Alcoholics Anonymous, and I haven't drank in 2 years, 4 months. And I think I met my person. And I believe it's divinely inspired. I believe my husband supports it. However, it's not an easy relationship because he's single 12 years. He doesn't include people in.
All right, you're cutting out a little bit.
Well,
It's so
that was
funny that
it.
we have
Am
a
I?
theme today. It
Yeah.
always works that way. Isn't that cool? All right. So here's where we left off. I'm going to tell you what I heard and what I didn't. And then if there's any fleshing out, let me know, and then I'll tune into your energy. So I hear that you lost your husband 2 years ago. You're ready to move on. You've met someone, and you're asking me, is this the person?
Am I imagining it? And the reason I say that is he's been single 12 years.
No, that's yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune into your energy. I'm going to get his first name. Let me see what I get. Okay. Without you giving me too much more. No, because I don't want to be reading your mind. I want to see, I want to get a read on him and get from there, because I got the gist of the question. Yeah. So I'm going to ask the Mystery of Angels to surround myself and my client, Deborah, with your beautiful white light. As I open my heart to divine unconditional love, I'm just giving you need a lot of this love and white light, because you've been through the ringer, and asked to connect my highest self, guides and angels, and those of my client, Deborah. Yeah, you just really are just drinking in that white love and that white light and unconditional love. I know, I see it. All right. And I asked to be a clear channel with which to receive and communicate their wisdom. I asked to release any expectations I have towards the outcome of the work that we do together today. And I asked that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. And please just keep your beautiful attention on the road too. Though you look like you have angels all around you. So I think you're just perfectly fine. All right. I'm going to give you a little bit more, because what you really, I feel, need right now is that angelic love and support. And I look at your journey, and though, your guides really applaud you for all the choices that you've made in your life, because they took some serious, they say serious courage and serious effort, serious. Yeah. It wasn't easy. It wasn't inevitable. It was something, it could have gone either way, and you nailed it. Is she still there? I lost her. I'm going to keep reading her. Hopefully she'll come back. There you are. Good deal. And so they just want to honor you for that. They just want to let you know how powerful you are, and that this wasn't a foregone conclusion, that you were going to accomplish what you have. And I get the read from you that you're not going to go back. It's a one-way door for you. And I don't feel that you're going to regret, once you climb that hill, you're not climbing it the other way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's huge. That's huge. That's the first thing that you want to know. Now, on the thing of relationships, you're still learning a lot from your pairings and your couplings. Now, your deceased husband, can you give me a name? Because I feel his energy. You're muted. You got to unmute yourself. And while you're in the process of becoming unmuted, I will say too.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, now I do. What is his name, please?
Gordon. Or Thomas. Yeah. Sometimes he's called Thomas.
Okay.
I knew him as Gordon.
On the other side, it's good. He was a character. I like Gordon better than Thomas. Thomas was a little bit of Thomas. Wow, you had Jekyll and Hyde going on there. So Gordon said he had a complicated life.
I know.
He was very manipulative. He was not always a straight shooter. And he said, she took me at face value, sometimes to her detriment, but together we had a wild time. Yeah. Okay. That's what he's saying. He's still processing his life. So, I see people in various. Yeah. Oh. So it's not that a part of us crosses over right away. This is how I see it. Different people see it differently. So I can only speak to my experience, but but I can always reach someone's higher self. And then the human self, when it crosses,
Yeah.
sometimes that reunification feels very immediate to me. And sometimes
Yeah.
there's still
Okay.
the image I have for him is he's still mopping up some of the mess that he made before he crossed. Okay, so he's still
Wow.
on mop duty. He says he's still cleaning up
What?
some messes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
okay, that seems to land. But he like, believes very strongly in you, and he has a very invested interest in seeing how you are going to clean up the mess that y'all made together. And a lot of it was his mess that he just kind of left in your bathroom. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah. Yeah.
you're working with
I
that.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
working with that. And he
Yeah.
says you're
Yeah.
doing a good job, and your guides say you're doing a good job. Now for this new fellow, he says,
Yeah.
if you look at him objectively, which you don't always do,
No.
there are elements of me, not me, but like elements of the way that I was in this man.
Oh.
And those
Oh.
things scare you a little bit. They scare you a little bit. You'll
Yeah.
see flashes,
Yeah.
you'll see glimmers, you'll see things that remind you of the things that you didn't like about the previous relationship. Or alternatively, there's things, reactions that you have that remind you of things from the previous relationship. And that's when you question and doubt yourself. Okay. Now, what's the new
Yeah.
guy's name?
Luis.
Luis. Louis.
But it's really Luis is what it is. It's Portuguese.
Okay.
Luis.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So he does have that same charming nature.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You like the charmers. And
It does.
he says he knows how to present himself in a way that is beneficial to getting what he wants and what he needs.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay. And
That's
you probably in your previous relationship, you like the fun ones, you like the excitement, you like the hairy, happy, like,
yeah, I do.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like what you like. You just don't want to trade off for someone who can't be authentic and real and supportive and there for you.
And that's what scares me.
Yeah. And I would say with this one, stop asking yourself if he's the one, because that puts a lot of pressure on it.
Okay.
Just ask yourself, is he the one for me right now? Is there something beneficial? Am I enjoying this relationship? Can I learn from this relationship?
Yes.
Look out for the things that you think are red flags, because my read is, and okay, let me tell you my read. My read is, you'll see red flags sometimes when they're not there. And then sometimes you will ignore red flags when they are there.
Yeah.
So this relationship is an opportunity to hone your vision, your radar, your red flag detector, so that you can kind of know what's me reacting because I've been burned before.
Yeah.
And this is really something wrong, because sometimes what we do is we ignore the risk because we're really afraid or we don't want to see it. And other times we're really jumpy about everything. And that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is a great opportunity for you to hone your radar. Okay. And learn to discern. And I think you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And there's already places where he's different than your previous partner. You definitely don't want anyone who encourages you to drink, but I don't think that's there.
No. He's sober. He's been sober 15 years.
Yeah. And he's committed. And he also, I feel that he has a little more spiritual nature, which you like intentionally. Is that accurate or no? And I don't think you had that before.
Yeah, he does.
And I think you enjoy sharing some of that. Again, he has the vibe of a playa. But I don't think.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's a flirt. I don't think he'd be cheating on you as long as you're clear on what you want. He is someone, however, that if the relationship was going to be over, like
it's quick
on the on the way that they're showing it to me is in the middle, you're fine, but on the edges, he might stray as a way to break off the relationship. So if things are good
Oh,
and you're
okay,
happy and
gotcha.
everything's good, it's fine.
Okay,
But if
okay,
you're like on the way out, he could be one of those
yeah.
people that jumps on the next ship
Oh, yes, he could.
before
Yeah,
he like totally lets the dock go. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. He could. I see that.
don't kid
Yeah, yeah.
yourself
Although,
about
yeah,
that. Okay. Does that
he's
make
been
sense?
single so long. Well, he's been single so long
So
that
he hasn't
he's
been in a
not.
relationship for so long?
No,
Then I don't know.
no, we
That's what
haven't.
I get.
We haven't even had coffee yet. I mean, we literally just talk after meetings.
Oh, okay. So you're not in a
And,
relationship with him. Got it.
well, we are. We text. We talk
Okay.
back and forth, but it's not. It's really struggling because I know he
Yeah.
cares. I know he likes me. I know he finds me attractive.
Yeah.
There's some fear there that I am unable to figure out what it is, but there's a little bit of deception. There's some fear there, and I
Yeah.
know there's some fear
I
there.
don't get the sense that he hasn't been in other relationships. He might not have been married or whatever, but I don't get the sense that he has not done at least what he's doing with you with another woman in 12 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you
Now, he
just
may not have been
know,
in a serious relationship in 12 years, but this is just my sense. And again, I'm not going to invade his privacy, but this is the sense
correct.
that I
Okay,
get, okay, through this
okay,
read. But the deal is, look at it as an adventure, look at it as an experience, and
okay,
don't immediately, and there's such a theme emerging today, don't immediately go to, is this the one or not? Because that's just the
okay.
wrong, you're not at the place to know that or to ask that question. And as soon as you put on the is it the one glasses, those are the
Mm.
ones that are going to be alternately rosy and black and rosy and black and rosy and
Okay.
black,
Okay.
because okay, it's landing, right? Because you're
Mhm.
skittish from past relationship, but you also want it to work out.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
better
I
to just
do.
say this is the one for me to explore right now. And I do
Okay,
think something even better
okay.
may be coming along. But he's a very good
Oh, maybe.
step.
Oh, do you mean another person or just better with him? Because I've been thinking
I think
September
maybe
maybe
another
things will
person.
change.
I think maybe
Oh,
another
okay.
person down the line, but I don't think I'd still explore this one. You're still learning from it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Yeah.
go ahead.
I adore him. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but I adore this man. I mean, I've never, even my husband, I didn't feel this way about. There's honesty, a lot of other things that I feel, but
Yeah.
I
And
never felt that.
the last thing I want to say is in this human world, right? We have certain metrics about success and of course you want another relationship. I get that. That's the theme today. I also am ready for a new relationship. I've left a long-term marriage that was
Mhm,
remarkable and wonderful, and I'm also
mhm.
super happy, like so I get it. I'm single is what I'm trying to say, right? So I totally get
Yeah,
that desire. It's really fun to be partnered.
yeah.
And I would say that we have this human idea that everything to be successful has to end a certain way or get a certain thing or a relationship for life and sometimes these expectations that we have about how things are supposed to work take us out of the joy of actually how
Mhm,
something's working for us now. So a couple years ago I had the discreet the honor of losing both of my parents in a
mhm,
short amount of time. And
mm.
the first parent to go passed very, very quickly. And it was a shock. And I was still married. We'd been separated for a while. My ex had started a new relationship, but he wasn't super committed to it at that point. And,
Mm.
I really had a sense. And my dad lived where my husband did. And I would, so I was going back to stay with my husband and, my kids. And so it was like a kind of a murky situation for
Oh,
people that were
right.
separated and potentially and most likely moving towards divorce. And
Mhm.
anyway, there's a point in my sharing the story. And one of the things that happened was the weekend before my dad died, I met a guy. And I met a guy
Wow.
that I know was a soulmate, like 100% sure soulmate. Such a comfort there.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd met him the year before. And so and we
Huh.
knew enough mutual people. I felt very like safe with him anyway. And it ended up After my dad's funeral, I was there for a couple of days and whatever, traveling to go to this man's house and spend the weekend with him. Okay.
Hmm.
And it turned out to be one of the best things I ever could have done because I didn't go back to my husband. And I had the love and the comfort that I needed over that weekend
Oh,
to really get me over the hump of being, recently singled and losing my father. Right.
you had a bridge. You had a
And I had a bridge,
bridge.
right? And now that
Yeah.
relationship did not turn into anything more than that beautiful weekend that I really needed,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
Um, but I don't regret a single moment of it, right? It was what
Wow.
I need. It was there. And I've had other relationships too, where you're not really relationships. I haven't had one of
Mhm,
those yet since my big 30-year one, but
mhm.
other like encounters where like, it was remembering or something opened up in me, or I was like, oh man, this reminds me, I don't want that. Right. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
look at all of
Yeah.
these encounters as it's a buffet and you're just tasting things
Okay.
on the buffet. And some things you're not going to want a second bite of, and some things you're going to want to eat a whole plate, but before you commit yourself to eating that for life and knowing if it's the one,
I gotcha.
enjoy some tasting time.
Just wish we could do a little more fun stuff. He's very committed to the program. He helps a lot of people and he's very ADHD and he gets distracted. And I
Yeah.
have to remind him communication is part of the process if we're going to even be friends.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
frustrating because communication can go up, it can go down,
Yeah.
and
And that's the nature of what it's going to be with him.
mm,
And so you're going to have to decide if you can live with that. I don't think that's going to change.
I mean, he really is attracted to me. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I can see and feel it, and yeah. And I don't mind the dedication he has to the program because I think that's important. That part doesn't bother me, and he does pull himself in when I say communication's an issue. He pulls in a little bit, but then he goes right back to being distracted.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And so the last thing I'm going to say before we wrap this one up, my beautiful friend, and I hope this landed, because we could do a whole session on this. We could go on
Yeah,
for a long time
yeah,
because I mean, I
yeah,
can see a lot of stuff there, but the
yeah.
last thing I would say is sometimes when maybe we haven't had the experience that we seek, right? We haven't had people show up for us the way that we want to in romantic relationships, or we don't believe it's possible, or we haven't, like,
Yeah.
I want to get this from your guides because I'm getting it from my mind. And of course, they say go ahead.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just about trusting yourself more, knowing it's okay to want what you want. You heard Scott at the beginning talk about, I want to be in a relationship, but I'm not dealing with any of the riffraff. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
I
it's not
know. I
worth
told
making
you
any
that.
compromises. I want what I want. And the reason he got to that place, my friend, okay, the reason he got to that place is because he knows in his heart, because of the work that he's done, that he deserves it, that he deserves it.
Yeah.
And so you need to know that for yourself too. If it's not here, it's not, and it's not, now that's okay. Everything that you like about this man, you can find in somebody else because like I said, there are a lot of things I liked about that weekend with that gentleman in New Jersey. He just wasn't ready for the kind of relationship that I was ready
Yeah.
for, right? And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm
Yeah.
paying all of that forward, and I know that the next one's going to have all that and more.
Yeah.
And it's around you recognizing that that's possible, that you deserve this. It doesn't mean that you can't have fun now, but as soon as we're trying to change the person that's here,
Yeah.
we're probably heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Because if I can't love him as he is, then it's really not love. Is my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. And it's also just you deserve more. You deserve someone that's
Yeah.
going to give you what you want,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect, but we want to feel that love and support and tenderness and that we matter in someone's world. And that's fine. That's important. All right, I'm going to say a little
Okay.
prayer,
Thank
my
you.
beautiful friend, to
Thank
let you
you.
go. I'm going to thank you for this
Okay.
great opportunity to live, to grow, and to serve.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. I'm going to ask to release any attachments, may upon me, myself, my client, or extended family living or deceased. I also, this is my little closing prayer. Ask to release the expectations I have towards the outcome of the work that we do together today. And I ask that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. Thank you, my friend.